And you see, here's the thing, right? It says policy violated, right? And it says community guidelines. And you think, oh, okay, well, I just click here and I'll know what the said policy is. It just opens up a help box. That's all it does. I don't know what policy I violated, so potentially what policy I could have violated is all of these. Every single one of these. I am recording this at almost 9 in the morning because YouTube's appeal system is a complete joke. And for those that don't know, it is basically a system that allows you to appeal decisions that YouTube has made, mainly by its own AI systems that will decide whether or not it thinks you're being a sussy backer. But for the most part, it has been a consistent pattern for me whenever I try to do anything longer than 30 seconds, I will constantly be dealing with my content being either age restricted, completely taken down, or just demonetized in general. Like, when the content comes out, it will be fine, but then the next day it will get slapped, and then I'll have to appeal it, and the majority of time, YouTube will basically turn around and say no. And then when I take it to Twitter, YouTube will either ignore me, or they'll just respond to the wrong issue about what I was complaining about. So this video right here is a video I released about two or 3 weeks ago, and it was basically a video with a bunch of Twitch clips of mine, and they were mainly comedic in value. This is VRChat funny moments, so you kind of get the idea of what you're getting into with this. Thumbnail is a bit clickbaity, but who doesn't clickbait on this platform? I have seen far worse thumbnails. Honestly, my thumbnail is very tame compared to some of the stuff I have seen. I have seen some very spicy content that has been cropped deliberately from certain, let's just say, cultured websites. When it comes to thumbnails, I don't really think my thumbnail is really the problem. I haven't really had thumbnails be taken down in forever, so I don't really believe that it's the thumbnail in question, and if it was the thumbnail, they more likely would just remove that thumbnail rather than age restricting the video. My main gripe with this is, obviously, as they introduce you to this thing, they say that we've discovered an issue with your video. While it doesn't necessarily violate our guidelines, it may not be appropriate for viewers under 18. To help keep the community safe, that's a good one, in the next 2 steps, we'll ask you to take a look at your content and the policy. If you'd like to appeal, we'll be happy to review your content again. That's pretty much the generic message that they say for every single YouTube video, and then they'll have say that it doesn't affect your channel because obviously it's not a strike, it's just an age restriction. And then the visibility, it says that only people that are verified to be 18 and above can see the content. I wouldn't be too fussed of the age restriction if it also didn't mean that my content would no longer be recommended to people, because normally that's what happens when your content gets age restricted, is that it's kind of like the whole Copper Act where the content will just get buried. So no one will be able to see what you've posted. Now, when it comes to monetization, obviously, because it's being age restricted, it automatically gets demonetized. But because the fact that when I uploaded it with the self-certification, I said that the content is safe for ads, even though there is mild adult content, because the jokes are sort of adult humor in a sense. Well, I don't believe it's anything too egregious, especially the fact that my humor tends to be out there. You kind of need to have the key to decrypt what I'm saying half the time, because let's be real, my humor is pretty much like a Pandora's box. You don't know what to expect, and you don't even know if you'll understand what I'm actually saying. So for some people, I will not be funny at all, and for other people, will be just basically facepalming and will basically wouldn't believe that I said that. But that's just how it is, you know, when it comes to comedy. Humor is subjective. So one thing is the most important that really upsets me about this is the fact that since the self-certification, since this video got age restricted, that means it puts a bad mark on my record. And if I get too many videos that basically conflict with what I said in the self-certification, so if I get too many videos demonetized, my entire channel will get reviewed for monetization, which means that I could potentially lose monetization if they believe that I am deliberately lying to try and, you know, get ads on videos that shouldn't. Which, you know, it's fair. There are some people that would, you know, try to sneak certain content onto the platform that shouldn't be. But again, like, most of my stuff is more cheek and tongue. So on the next part, you'll have look at your content. And it's like, take a look at your content, keep policies in mind. First review our policies, particularly any listed here. Then check out your content again. You'll want to make sure your content follows all policies, not just the ones identified. Issues found later can also impact your video. And you see, here's the thing, right? It says policy violated, right? And it says community guidelines. And you think, oh, okay, well, I just click here and I'll know what the said policy is. It just opens up a help box. That's all it does. I don't know what policy I violated, so potentially what policy I could have violated is all of these. Every single one of these potential policies could have been what I possibly violated. And what I do believe what is possibly the violation is most likely under what they would call nudity and sexual content. That is most likely what it is, because I do believe that probably what it was an AI scanned the video after I was reported and found something that it thinks is violating that policy. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I believe that the appeals are handled by an AI that basically just rescans the video and he's just like, nah, this stays, right? I do not believe that my content gets manually checked by YouTube at all when I appeal these things. That's kind of why I'm making a video, because it's just a constant frustration. I can't work on any long content because of this, because of the fact that I could lose my monetization, the fact that I could, have my entire channel wiped out, because I have sat on that spot where I've had a video taken down because of an AI making the decision, and it only eventually got overturned like several months later on Twitter after I complained enough to YouTube support, because they were refusing to do anything. When they say that they review things carefully, I don't believe that for a second, because if they did, they would understand context between certain jokes that I'd make in the video. Very opening of this video is a parody edit of a Markiplier reaction to Resident Evil, basically the tall goth mummy GF, right? Basically, it is the entire run of the joke is basically him reacting to her being able to crush your body with any part of her body, right? And part of the joke delivery was that you zoomed in on a body part. Now, this is something that I've seen done on many YouTube videos before, so I assumed it was perfectly fine, because I've seen so many people do these kind of jokes, and I've never seen those videos ever get age restricted, so I have no idea if this could have been the possible thing, because again, this is very little information as to what I did wrong. All they are telling me is that I should read every single potential possible policy that opens up in the world's smallest help box that is kind of obnoxious to read, but the actual main policy that I supposedly violated just opens up the general help box. It is completely useless to me, so I don't know. So what I'm assuming is that they believe it could be sexualized content, even though this is a joke, and the whole point of it is to zoom in on a part just to reinforce the joke. The whole section is about 25 seconds of the video, and the fact that they ignored that context and just slapped me in the face is just absolutely annoying. Another part here that I believe that could have been the flag could have been potentially this, when I took the top off of an outfit because I was messing around with it. Just to add more comedy to the clip, I went and added basically Plankton reacting to the whole thing just to make it more funny. So it obviously was in no means meant to be sexual, but I believe what it could have been the potential flag is this scene right here, and the AI probably believes that I'm naked, despite the additional context being literally right before that I have clothes on, which is just absolutely frustrating to no end. Now, the next one here, there's a joke about clapping your hands, and I end up clapping my legs instead. I don't exactly make the brightest decisions. I'm a bit of an airhead, to be honest. The whole joke of this scene was me doing something stupid and then obviously getting punished for it. And again, I don't know, this was just a joke about booba. I could have been flagged here as well. AI could have thought that I was naked or something, despite, additional context that I did have clothes when you zoomed out. Here would be, again, so that was supposed to be a joke of me just falling on my camera and the GTA wasted screen effect. Again, it was just another meme, it's another joke. There's other people that have done similar stuff to this and have not been punished either, so I don't know. And then here was just me a joke about, I slipped up and said I was a succubus, which I don't see. Again, it's a joke. like, it's not meant to be sexually gratified. It's not meant to arouse people and stuff like that. It's supposed to be funny because that's my sense of humor. My sense of humor is kind of like that, really, when it comes down to it. Here is where the real kicker is. Is like, you can just, after going through all this, you can just say, I don't want to appeal. Why is that an option? I don't understand. I don't know. I would not be on this page if I didn't want to appeal it in the first place. I would just ignore this, but no, instead here I am. Yeah, so it's like, we'll carefully review your video again, and I don't think they will. So would you like to share anything else with us and want to leave a comment? So yeah, this is kind of why I don't do long content anymore. One, with YouTube slapping me around, and two, it's often that most people don't even watch towards the end of the video. I'm probably predicting about like a third of people that actually clicked on the video are going to make it to the end. So if you have made it to the end, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to drop a like and, all that good stuff. I don't know how to do endings and stuff like that, but I guess you could say that if YouTube was to make a response to this, the only thing I can really think of, if they say to use like the feedback button on the homepage, is pretty much this.
It's a little chilly in here today.